Hey guys, Michael D here. You know, the other day when I was in Philadelphia, I got to interview DR.OZ about his run for the Senate. And it was exciting because he's got the number one health and medical program in the world for the last 8 or 10 years. So everybody knows who he is. He's running for Senate. In Pennsylvania, he'll probably win. He definitely got some great things going for him, for sure. Not only the name recognition, but just incredible following, right? And so I learned a lot from him the other day. One of the main things I learned from him was the power of storytelling. He's just a powerful storyteller. And we were with him for about 3 hours, and he told so many phenomenal stories. And this is one reason I think he's going to win. He's going to win big because he's a phenomenal storyteller. He's a great promoter. And when I was in Philadelphia, one of the things that I did is if you grew up with the Rocky movies, if you're 35 or younger, 35 or older in the U.S., you remember the Rocky movies. And thanks to the producer, Sylvester Stallone, you remember them if you're younger, if you're my kid's age. So my sons are 31, 29, 27, and 25. So I took them to see, Rocky 5, 6, 7, Creed 1, 2, and 3. And I think because I ran the steps, the Rocky steps are actual place on Google Maps, just a mile from my hotel. So I jogged with one of the doctors early one morning before our meeting, and we ran the Rocky steps and checked in and did some videos there. But as a result of that, Facebook pushed a Sylvester Stallone video out to me with about 1 million views yesterday. And he's telling this amazing story. He's telling an amazing story about perseverance and not giving up, and when he first started in acting. And he said he and one of his buddies answered a casting call in New York for a movie that Woody Allen was the producer of. And they said the location for the casting was actually in the subway. And they go down in this dark, dirty, filthy New York subway. And sure enough, off in the distance, they see Woody Allen with his back turned, talking to one of his assistant directors. And he said they approached Woody Allen and they said, "Hey, yo," in Stallone fashion, "we're here for the acting job. Your security guys, your bouncers, you know. And basically Woody Allen said, "Get out of here. You don't scare me. You don't intimidate me enough." That was the word. "You don't intimidate me enough." Well, sly being the young actor he was, Sylvester Stallone hadn't had his big break yet with Rocky. He and his buddy, they were dejected. They were rejected. They wanted to give up. They started walking back to their apartment. And Sylvester Stallone got an idea. He said, wait a minute. We're supposed to be tough guys, right? He said, we can't just take no. We can't just accept no for the answer. Let's go back in there. And so they stopped off at a convenience store. They got some Vaseline and waxed back their hair and put dirt on their faces and messed up their clothes and punched each other a few times and got their face bloodied and bruised. And they go back to Woody Allen. And they go back down to that subway, and Woody Allen's got his back turned. And Sly comes up and taps him on the back, and Woody Allen jumps. And he thinks he's being mugged, and he jumps, he's scared. He says, "Do I intimidate you now?" And he said, "Boys, you've got the job." So that was Sylvester Stallone's big break. So the point is, be a good storyteller, be persistent, don't ever give up. Let your stories fuel you. Let the no's become rocket fuel to keep you going. And always live to see another day where you can tell another story and get in front of another one of your prospects and change another life. Because if you're in sales, if you're in business, if you're running a nonprofit, you're going to get no's. You're going to get doors slammed in the face. But you know what? Just keep coming back. Instead of you being intimidated by the rejection, instead of us being intimidated by the problem, why don't we start intimidating the problem? Why don't we start putting the peer pressure on fear itself and intimidation itself? Listen, we're not born to be intimidated. We are the intimidators. We are the ones making change happen. So yes, there's going to be pushback. Yes, there's going to be resistance. Great minds always have resistance. Great causes will always face untold resistance again and again and again. But when you are committed to your core value, you don't give up. Just because you get punched, you keep moving forward, and you throw 5 punches for every time you're punched. And eventually, take a lesson from Sylvester Stallone and DR.OZ. Never, never, ever give up. Answer the call. Here is Stallone. He's almost 80 years old, and he's out here doing videos in the park. He's out here telling stories, and I'm out here running the steps like Rocky Balboa in Rocky 1, 1986, the year I graduated high school. I'm running up those steps. That was the year he launched Rocky 1. It's now a $2 billion franchise. That's right. So, what is it you want to do? What is it you love doing? What is it you're called to do? Let's get her done. Michael D., the master storyteller. That's my goal in 2022, is to become a master storyteller, because guess what? We all have amazing stories. And the question is not just how the story shaped us, but what are we going to do as a result of those stories? How are we going to weave our life experience through that to understand what our goal, our mission, our passion is? Wow. And that's what I get to do every day as a book publisher. I get to hear stories. I get to hire ghostwriters to help people write their stories. And I get to put people on stages and media interviews all over the world. So what are you waiting on? Tell your story. Share your story with the world. And let's make some sense out of it, because you know what? Some people get stuck in their story, and your story is not enough. Your story is the gateway to your message. The story is the simple gateway to your message. You're not called to share the entire story, but you are called to find a message in your story to create the movement. Let's go do it together. Come on. I believe in you.